Hello staff, I wanted to share with you this quick video explaining the new grade reporting system that we're going to have for next year. And then if you have any questions after this video, please bring them on Tuesday and we will answer any questions you guys might have. So as you know, we've had in the past quarterly grades, and instead of just issuing grades quarterly, we're going to kind of officially update grades every couple of weeks. And then in addition to that, we want to make sure we're communicating home with parents more effectively when students are struggling. So we've put into place a couple communication things for students and parents and teachers so that when students are struggling, everyone's on the same page, making sure that they become successful. Some things we want to talk about regarding grade reporting dates. Really, we want to make sure that all grades are updated in a reasonable amount of time. We recognize that there are large projects and papers that might take a long time to grade, but we want to grade those as quickly as possible in a reasonable amount of time. And kind of one rule of thumb is if we have different grading periods every 2 weeks, if you give an assignment in one grading period, it really should be done and completed in the next grading period. If it goes longer than that, it just gets to be ineffective for providing feedback to students. We want to provide feedback as soon as possible. Here's a list of all the grade reporting dates that we're going to have. After 3 weeks, at the beginning of each semester, we will give an update, and then every 2 weeks thereafter. If you notice, on March 16th, there's actually 3 weeks between March 16th and April 6th because spring break isn't there. So that's just one small adjustment to the every 2 week grading period. So this is how we're going to support students. We had a restricted list in the past. It was posted in students' lockers, and some students would ignore it, some students wouldn't care. At any rate, parents didn't know. So we want to make sure that everyone's on the same page. So I want to share with you some of the levels, what the school's responsible for, what the teacher's responsible for, and then kind of what the family's responsible for. So we're going to have 4 different levels of the restricted list. The first level is like our typical restricted list in that we'll communicate with the students that they're either getting 2 Ds or 1 F and let them know that there are some restrictions on what they can do. Basically, they'll not be able to come out of class for any special events that take them out of class. This is not talking about field trips, that's the next level, but anything that takes them out of class to do special events or special help or special service, they'll no longer be able to do that until they get off the restricted list. Students that are in study halls that are allowed to go to the Learning Commons or the library, they won't be able to do that. They'll have to spend their time doing their homework in study hall. What the responsibility of the school is we will send an email to the student. I know students don't check their email, but unless we send them emails and ask them to check it, they won't check it. So we're going to send them an email, verify they received it. If they didn't, we'll come to the office, make sure that they got it, and make sure that they're checking. And then we'll also communicate to teachers that they're on the restricted list through the restricted list that we're going to send all the teachers so that so they'll know who's on the list. Teacher responsibility, nothing really, just continue to help your student like you always have, and if they're struggling, find ways to help them and support them, especially if they come and ask for help. And there's no real parent responsibility at the first level. Level 2 is a little bit more involved. This means that students can't participate in field trips. So if a student's going to be gone all day, unless it's absolutely critical for the student to attend the field trip, the student has to stay here. And I understand that there are situations in which it's critical for students to go, and we'll allow them to do that. But if it's not critical for them to go on this particular field trip, they're going to have to stay here. The next level then is for teacher and student to meet together in order to put together kind of an action plan to improve performance. And an email does get sent home. So the school's responsibility is to send that email home, let them know that they've been on the restricted list now for up to possibly 4 weeks, and they need some additional help. And we are going to meet with the student to help them out. Then what the office is also going to do is send an email to the students, and then John Heisinger will then also touch base with each student, remind them that they need to go seek the teacher out to set up a meeting to put together an action plan. And then also we will send the restricted list out to all the teachers to make sure that they know that they're on level 2. Teacher's responsibility then is to kind of pursue the student, make sure that they know that they need to set up a meeting. We want to do that within a week of being on that restricted list and then develop a plan for improvement. A parent receives the email. This responsibility is basically continue to talk to their kid about their performance. Level 3, again, all level 2 implications are going to be in place. Now the parents are going to be included. Now this means that for 6 weeks at least 6 weeks, a student's been on the restricted list for a particular class, or classes. So we want to make sure that each class or each teacher sets up a meeting with the student and the parent to get the sign off from the parents in terms of the action plan, so that we can make sure that the students are successful. So basically the school's responsibility is to send an email to the students, send an email home to let them know that they need to meet with the teacher and set up a time to meet with the teacher. The teacher's responsibility is basically meet with the parent and the student and develop that plan for improvement. The parent responsibility is for them to come in, meet with the teacher, sign off on whatever that improvement plan is, and make sure that they're supportive at home. The last level is level 4. And basically all level 3 implications apply, which means that the parent and teacher are going to meet, but also that they're going to have to spend 4 hours on a Saturday doing their work, getting caught up, and doing whatever they can to study so that they're prepared in the future. The school's responsibility is to send an email to the students, letting them know they're at level 4, sending an email to the parents, letting them know they're at level 4, and their Saturday school date that they need to come. Teacher's responsibility is to meet with the parent and the student once again, refine the plan, put together a plan for that Saturday school so that they have so that the student has something to do, something to work on, whether it be videos, whether it be worksheets, whatever that might be, in order for the student to kind of get the help that they need at the Saturday school. And again, the parent's responsibility is to be supportive, support the plan, encourage the student, and then maybe even find some outside resources to get a student help so that students can get off of the restricted list. Now, a member of the student support team, which would be one of the guidance counselors, the social worker, or Laura Van Kampen, will be present at that meeting to figure out what else we can do to support that student. So that's kind of the summary of the different levels of our new restricted list and our new grading procedures. Again, if you have questions, please share those on Tuesday when we get back together as a whole group. Thanks.